Just a masonite panel.
Masonite panel, there we go. My brain couldn't kick in fast enough. Masonite panels without any canvas, without anything on it. This is the color that it comes, and I put the texturing compound slightly orange on there, so you can kind of see where some of those swishy marks of my orange are on. So without having to do canvas, gesso, texture, whatnot, and this is a great way to go traveling and doing a lot of plein air painting. So the boards are thin. You do have to stick it in a frame for most art galleries to show it at this point. You can't just hang it on the board. So at this point, we wet it out one more time. And what's our subject matter? Trees. Trees. Establish those babies right up front. Get them in there. Wet into wet. Yes, the edges are going to blur somewhat, but that's okay. We're just trying to say, in my painting, where I'm trying to establish my lights and my darks as soon as possible, I know that these guys are going to be about that color. Oh my gosh, my red chalk pastel is dissolving into my paint. What do I do? Work it, baby. You now have a warm suggested painting, or little bits of red chalk showing through. That little bit of red keeps your painting warm. The back sides or the midsections of your trees can have a medium to purplish value. Now, depending on which direction your sun is coming from, depends on how much of your tree is light versus dark. If it's totally backlit, it's going to be a dark tree with just white edges, you know, that kind of situation. If you got a half sunlight from this direction, at least half of your subject is going to be bright. If you stood with the sun right behind you, they're all white, and sometimes it's hard to describe their roundness because all you're getting is a straight white flat. So depends on your reference picture and what you want to do. If you hate purple, you're not going to enjoy putting purple in your trees. In the middle of summer or fall, when you're standing in the middle of a birch or aspen forest of any sort, you can actually see more of a yellow cast to all of your trees because all the yellow leaves are catching light, they're refracting the light, they're turning all the light yellow. So you might find that your particular painting is going to really actually be more yellowy color. Your trees literally might be more yellow. The back side is a dark version of yellow, which is that purple mixed into it, and so we basically kind of have a taupey tan, poopy kind of backside color. It becomes your yellow. So depending on your reference picture, depending on what you're trying to portray, this guy's in front, all of his branches are going to lay over the top of him. He's in front because, wow, I don't even see his fanny. His fanny ran off the edge. He must be so close to me that my picture frame, his fanny's way down here. This guy is further back, but his bottom half here is down. Well, that means that tells me these guys are in front of there. So depending on where your bottom of your tree is, that says who's in front of him. Everybody in the background has bases that are further and further away. So things going off in the distance, the bottoms of those things go further away. Trees that you don't want to say, look at me, don't actually get to be this white. They're a cooler, go off in the distance kind of color. So it's not the super bright look at me, and I'm going to show you just how much difference is there. That's the difference between these two tree values. That's saying I'm in the distance, I'm in the distance. And at some point you might even have something as dark as that saying I'm a white tree. So in your forest, not every single tree gets to be this pretty of a white, just the ones in the foreground, or at least the ones you want to accentuate.
What color did you get for the gray, for the blue-gray?
Everything on that side.
Okay.
I kind of, so I was
cool.
doing the blue and it wasn't quite, so I kind of grabbed into the turquoise kind of color, but I think I already had a lot of the purple and yellow going, so I had kind of sort of a taupey tan going, and then I touched into that and got it cooler.
Oh.
Now, once again, when we were talking about things looking three-dimensional, the lightest of lights is in about a third, the darkest of darks is in about a third. So this tree looks more three-dimensional with its darkest of darks being here, not right on the edge,